Hi, my name is Rebecca, and today we'll be talking about sentence variation and clarity in speaking, specifically for the BESTEP test. Let's get started. So for the BESTEP speaking test, there are 3 parts. The first part is answering questions, the second part is expressing opinions, and the third part is giving a short presentation. Today's video will be sharing techniques you can use for all 3 parts of the BESTEP speaking test, as well as helpful sentence stems that you could use for parts 1 and 2. Now, when we talk about language fluency, what do we mean? So another way to say fluent is speaking smoothly. Just like a river flows over rocks, we want our words to flow to the listener. Something interesting is that pronunciation is not seen as the deciding factor for fluency. This means that if you did not grow up speaking English, or you feel like you have an accent, that should not hinder you from speaking fluently. And that is why our goal for speaking is clarity, to make sure that your ideas are flowing and that they can be completely understood by your listener. Here are some techniques that you can use to improve clarity in your speaking. Firstly, try to reduce the number of filler words you use when you talk. Filler words are words like and that you may use when you are thinking of what to say. You can also try to speak with a steady pace and volume. This will make it easier for your listener to understand what you are saying. And lastly, make sure to speak with confidence. Now let's look at some sentence structures you could use while speaking. Independent and dependent clauses are building blocks of sentences that you can use to make longer and more advanced sentences. An independent clause is a complete thought, such as, I walked to class. This clause can stand on itself as a sentence. However, dependent clauses are incomplete thoughts. For example, while I walked to class. This cannot be a full sentence. What is the difference between the 2 clauses? Well, a dependent clause starts with a subordinating conjunction, and this makes it dependent. Some other subordinating conjunctions are listed below. Now let's see how we can use independent and dependent clauses for our sentences. A simple sentence is composed of one independent clause, I walk to class. This is the most basic level of sentence structure. If you put 2 independent clauses together, it becomes a compound sentence. I walk to class and my sister drives to work. Notice this word, and. This is a coordinating conjunction that connects the 2 clauses. Coordinating conjunctions include for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. And a simple acronym to remember them is fanboys. Remember that you always need to have one of these fanboys in between 2 independent clauses to create a compound sentence. Complex sentences have 1 independent clause and 1 dependent clause. I listened to music while I walked to class. And as we talked about before, while is a subordinating conjunction that connects these 2 clauses. You can also combine a compound and a complex sentence together to make a compound complex sentence. My sister drives to work, and I see monkeys while I walk to class. Varying the types of sentences you use while speaking will make you a more advanced speaker. So try to incorporate all of these kinds of sentences in your responses. A way to connect your ideas while you're speaking is using transition words. Transition words are used in the beginning of a sentence in order to connect the previous idea to the next one. Transition words can be used when you are giving examples, giving reasons, adding information, emphasizing, contrasting, and concluding. Take note that a contrasting transition word, such as however, should only be used when you are introducing an idea that is opposite to what you have already talked about. Now let's talk about some helpful sentence stems. On the test, there may be a question that asks you to invite someone somewhere. For example, invite a friend to your violin concert. When you see this kind of question, there are two ways that you could respond. A formal way of speaking may be used to address a professor, a teacher, your boss, or someone in the government. An informal manner may be used when you are talking to your friend, the shop owner, or your family. For example, if you were inviting a professor to your violin concert, you could say, "Please join us for the violin concert on Saturday." An informal way would be, "Come join our violin concert on Saturday." Depending on the context of your question, these sentence starters could help you to invite someone to an event. Another kind of question is about sharing your experience. For example, have you ever hiked Jade Mountain before? Why or why not? There are two ways that you could respond to this question, depending on your own experience. Yes or no. If yes, you want to talk more about your experience, such as things you've learned, how you felt about the experience, and more details. You could respond with, "Yes, I have had the opportunity to hike Jade Mountain before. My experience with hiking was positive because I saw the sunrise." If no, don't just say no. Talk about why or what you would do if you had the opportunity. For example, "No, I haven't had the chance to hike Jade Mountain, but if I did, I would go with my 3 best friends." You might also get a question that asks you to connect a graph to your life. For example, are the reasons students from Saudi Arabia study abroad the same as students at your college? When facing this kind of question, there are 2 parts. First, you need to explain the key points in the graph, and then connect the key points to what you know, using transitions. Here's an example. The chart shows the top reasons students from Saudi Arabia study abroad is to seek a quality education, followed by learning a different language. However, at NSYSU, most students study abroad to experience a new culture. Another question that you might find is about sharing your opinion. For example, what is your opinion of joining a club in university? When you're answering this kind of question, there are 2 ways you could start your sentence. You could first start with a transition phrase, such as far as I'm concerned, joining a club in university is a good idea." Or you could use I plus a verb sentence, such as, "I think joining a club has many advantages." One way is not better than the other. Try to use both forms of sentences in your response. Now I'll share some tips that you can use during the test. Your preparation time will be relatively short, so you want to make sure to use an outline and write down key words. Don't try to write down full sentences. During your response time, make sure to answer the question directly. You don't have a lot of time to respond, and you want to make sure that you are answering the question. Second, speak with a steady pace and volume. This will ensure that the microphone and your listeners can hear what you are saying. Lastly, remember to breathe. If you don't know what to say or you get stuck, just pause, take a breath, and continue when you are ready. Some other resources include the TIMI website or the BESTEP website, which have sample questions and answers for the test. The English Writing Lab also is providing Leap Write-In sessions for the BESTEP test, with writing and speaking topics that you can register for on our website. If you'd like to learn more, follow our Instagram at FulbrightXNSYSU. Thank you so much, and good luck on your test.